New Canoe Nation, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Unlimited Podcast. Been on a little bit of a hiatus here. We're kind of changing up the structure of the podcast. We got a lot of cool things in the works, but happy to see so many of you already in the chat. Drop in the comments where you're tuning in from. And as we go along through the show tonight, if you guys have any questions whatsoever, please drop them in the chat. We'll get those answered for you guys. Tonight, we got a return guest. Yeah. Mr. Buz Bireline joining the show tonight. He's had some life-changing events, boys and girls. I mean, we're just out here catching 13 pounders in an unlimited and battling tornadoes. So it's going to be an interesting show, to say the least. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I know me and Buzz were just talking right before we started, and I'm excited to hear the turn of events, not only on the fish of a lifetime, but fishing in a tornado. That's something on my bucket list I just haven't checked off yet. So I'm going to get a few pointers tonight from my man, and we'll see what we can do there. But again, welcome back, everybody. Just a quick rundown. We're going to be doing the Unlimited Podcast once a month, but we're going to have a lot of cool content. I'm sure you guys have seen on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram. Our man Brian Conley has been putting out all these little angler profiles that I went through and recorded with a bunch of the team. So it's super cool. You get to know some of the guys on our team and what they do, what they're about, what they fish for, what kind of boat they fish for, why they like it, all that good stuff. So be sure you got to be checking those things out and all that good stuff, man. We appreciate all the support for our team and what our team offers. So enough of me. I know you guys are anxious. You're ready to see the video footage of a 13-younder being caught by my man, Buz Bireline. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great, Brian. Thanks a lot, man. It's always great to be back on the podcast with the best anchor, Brian Schiller, of course, on any fishing podcast around.
It's good to be back, man. I've been itching. I've been busy. Don't get me wrong. I've been on the ICAST grind. I got a lot of new products coming out that I've been working on. So I'm super jazzed about that, and I'm excited to share that with the world. But I always miss doing the New Canoe Pod, man, and talking to the team guys, because sometimes this is the only time I get to chat with you guys. So it's good to be back. And like I said, man, we're switching up the format a little bit. But it's definitely cool, and I think you guys will appreciate it that are out there watching on the old interwebs. But, dude, I mean, you've been knocking some things off the bucket list, like I stated. Yeah. I mean, you just want to go into the video first and give us the run through, or let's get a little back context? You know what I mean? All right. Yeah. Here's the first question. What was the biggest bass you had ever caught prior to this one?
Yeah, my PB prior to this was 7 pounds 15 ounces, so under 8. And I've never personally seen a double digit. Even with fishing with friends or buddies or whatever. So never even seen one before, as you're gonna probably see, because I'm kind of shocked. I barely understand what this thing is. So.
Well, like I told you, you sent me the video last night so that way we could put it out on the show tonight. And I was, it just popped up after it downloaded. And first beginning part, I was like, what's going on here? What is he talking about? So it's kind of cool. And I'm anxious to let the good folks see it and all that good stuff.
But yes. So let me set the tone here first.
Yep.
So I was out fishing at Orange Lake. So I live in Gainesville, Florida. It's only about an hour from me, depending upon which place that you go, or which launch you go to. And this is May 30th, and I was trying to finish up. I am trying to fish a monthly tournament with the Florida Hooligans kayak bass team. So I'm on their team, and the kayak bass team series down here in Florida is very competitive. But for us to keep our competitive juices going, and we have like a $80-$90 pool every month, and we do a monthly on Tourney X. So it might as well be $80,000. We're that competitive.
Sure.
So at the end of the month, Orange Lake is in the top 10 in the United States, and there's been a lot of double-digit fish caught there, just some giants. So it was really my last chance that month to try to get out, and I only had we had been going through a drought, and it had rained like the day before for the first time in a while, and I only had like 3 hours, and so went out between 4 and 7, and got on a few fish, and then left an area, and then got into an area where I had only been there once before. I've never caught a fish in there before. And I was in there, and I was thinking, I got to get out of here because I'm still not having any luck. And so I threw one last cast into the area. I looked over to my left because I was trying to figure out how I'm going to get out. There's all this hydrilla all over the place. And I'm telling you this because I didn't get all of this on video, but I didn't start the video until after the hook set. But what I heard was a huge splash to the right of me, and then when I looked over, I saw a huge tail coming down out of the water. So the thing like jettisoned out. Think Shark Week. How they attack the seals and things like that, coming out of the water. And because I didn't get a good view on it, hook sets are free. Of course, I set the hook, but we have a lot of 8-10 pound bowfin out there. And 2 previous times I've been out, I was there, and then I was at Tenorock, and the last place I fished, kind of at the dawn and dusk time. Alligators are really active for frogs, and I was kind of fishing. This was a speed worm, fishing it right over the top of all the hydrilla.
Okay.
So you're going to see the first thing you're going to see on the video is me saying, I think this is another alligator, because I didn't think it was that big, but as soon as it grabbed it, went down into the weeds and really didn't move that much. It kind of just stayed there. So it didn't take off a lot or anything. So when you run the video, you'll see a little bit of that, and then I'll tell you when to pause, I guess, and I'll tell you what I was thinking, and then you'll see the exact point I lose my mind.
Yeah. All right, let's bring it up here.
I don't know. You might have to turn up the sound a little.
Is this a third alligator?
Okay, pause it for a second, Brian. So right here, I'm panicking a little bit because it's starting to get out of the hydrilla, and I can't get my paddle back into where it's supposed to be, and it's starting to take off. I don't know if you could hear the line going. Squealing a little bit.
Yeah.
But I'm still pretty calm because I think I'm not like thinking this is a fish at this point. I still, so my heart rate isn't even up at this point. I'm like kind of almost disappointed. In my head, I'm figuring out how am I going to get this alligator up and then off of my bait. So keep going now.
That's just odd to me, right? Like, you Florida boys are just like, how do I get another gator off? No big deal, right? Like, whereas me, I'd be like, yep, cutting the line. I'm done. I'm not playing with jaws.
Thank goodness I didn't. In this case.
Right? Yeah, right. That would be my mistake, right? And then the fish would jump and spit the hook after I cut the line.
So, right.
All right, let's keep it rolling. Maybe. There we go.
Pretty sure it's an alligator. Did you see that thing jump though?
Okay, hold it right there. Okay, I don't know if you can, when you saw it there during the pause, it's still covered in hydrilla. The whole thing is covered in hydrilla. I do not, at this point, I still don't know what it is. I think it could be a turtle, a bowfin, could be an alligator, and it's got so much hydrilla on it, I can't even see its face.
And let me get it paused in the right spot right there. Yeah.
Yes. So
There's
I
a lot of
really,
weeds. Yeah, I
yeah,
get it.
I can't tell what it is. It could be I'm at one point about this point. I think, do I put my hand down in there because to see what it is? And then I was like, no way, because it's it could be an alligator. Get my hand chomped off.
Yeah.
So
You
I'm not.
started out with, is this another alligator? And then you're questioning whether or not you should put your hand down there. Like, come on, bro.
Well, if it's small, then I can go ahead and just grab it. But when I saw that, it's like, okay, this is bigger than I thought, but I
Sure.
still don't know what it is.
All right.
So let's keep moving forward. You'll probably see when I. Oh, and I did beep out some of the cuss words.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that last night.
Holy that is a huge. Woo! I don't think I have a scale this big.
Okay, hold it right there. All right.
So when you first realized it was a bass,
Mhm.
did you have any idea how big it was?
I knew you're going to hear. Actually, maybe I cut that part out, but I do say I think it's a double digit, but I didn't know how many pounds.
Okay.
So I definitely thought this was my PB. I recall saying that maybe out loud, but I had to shorten some of this. But as you know, when I say scale, I meant measuring board. So I knew how long it was, and I thought it was going to be too big for the measuring board. So I have a catch 26-inch board, and I thought it was going to be too long for that.
Right.
So I wasn't necessarily thinking weight at the time. I was thinking length because I was in that monthly, and I was like, oh my God, I think I might have just won the monthly.
Well, so in context, right, when I heard that last night, and I'm like, Buzz, what the hell are you talking about? Most scales would go up to like 25, 50
Right.
pounds. Like, what'd
Right.
you catch? Moby Dick? Like, I'm like, what are you
Well,
talking
and that's what I
about?
mean.
So
I
now it
was
makes sense. It makes
yeah,
sense.
I was in total shock. I didn't know what I was even saying.
Sure.
I mean,
I get it.
I was cussing. Poor, we got a couple preachers on our new canoe team. I apologize in advance. Mark and Mike Archer. I apologize for that, but we had to. You'll hear a few more beeps as we go. All right, go ahead, move forward. You start to see it.
Oh, I can't even get him in here.
You're going to see him turn. I'll turn around now.
Not even big enough. Can you see this? Holy whoa!
So hold on one second here.
I can't even.
I'm sorry. You'll hear it again. But it's getting dark now. I'm thinking, how am I going to get a picture of this? How am I going to get it weighed? I'm all by myself right now. I ended up calling my Florida Hooligans brothers, as many as I could on the phone, and basically said, can you look at this? Can you? And they took pictures and taped as I was on the phone with them. But it was unbelievable. Go ahead. Sorry.
That's awesome, man. Well, I was curious because at one point it almost seems like you're talking to a buddy that's like not on camera, right? And I was curious about that. Is he by himself or is he really was somebody, and you you were with somebody, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
It's going to be too big. It's going to be too big for my scale. That thing just came out of the water. Woo! All right. Unbelievable.
So I'm going to take a picture of it, and then I put it in the window there. You'll see it. Look at the gut on that thing.
Yeah, just the girth in the mouth. I mean, you can just tell how just giant it is, the way the gills are flashing out on it.
And now my heart's racing. I'm so nervous that I'm going to drop it out of the boat or not get a good picture.
Every kayak angler's worst nightmare.
Yeah. And you can see it takes the total catch board right there.
Right. Was it past that last line?
Yeah, it was past the 26 by like 1/8 of an inch. So it wouldn't have made 26 1/4.
Oh.
So I get it back in the net, and then I took cell phone video next, as you'll see that, of me weighing it. It shows the girth of it a little bit better.
Wow. Okay, I just caught my PB. It jumped out of the water after this bait that was on top. It's 26 inches. I don't know how many pounds, but we're going to measure it up right now.
I think there's a delay on the sound.
All right, calm down, please.
We'll let it catch back up
Buffer
real
up.
quick. But yeah, dude, it's wild. Like in watching this, right, I try to put myself in your position. I mean, the whole video would have been a bleep, right? I always keep it real clean on the podcast. But if you've ever met me in person, that I'm besides myself. So real quick, before we get back into that, I want to run down to the new canoe setup that you're using, right? And let's talk about how that played a key factor in, getting all this set up, right?
Right. Okay. So I run a new canoe unlimited, and I have a trolling motor, an XI3 on the front, and I use a micro power pole on the back.
Okay.
And in this case, it's so thick with hydrilla that I actually had to pull everything up, and I was paddling over the top of all this hydrilla. So there were these holes in there that were like 5 feet deep that I could see. And I knew as I was going over them that, hey, there could be some potential in here. And I was trying to flip in there and drop some other things. And I pretty much was just giving up at this point and just riding stuff over the top, thinking, well, maybe I can get a reaction bite.
Sure.
But and then I don't use because I have a low back problem, I use an Engel cooler to sit on.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Brundle, another New Canoe teammate, and a couple other guys have do that. And I've used it now for a couple of years, and it's easier for me to stand up on.
Sure.
And and I have the pod in the front where I store my fish finder battery, Lowrance, HDS7. And it's the best kayak. I've been a New Canoe since 2015, but it's definitely the best model that I've used. I have a Frontier 12, an unlimited, and a Flint. I haven't been in the Pursuit. I watched G's thing last week, his podcast last week, and he almost made me want to get one, but I'll stick with it. I'll stick with the unlimited.
I hear you. All right, let's keep rolling on this.
Okay.
Maybe. There we go.
Oh my God. Look at the size of this. I can't even get in the freaking picture.
I'm just reliving the nervousness.
Yeah,
I'm shaking while I'm doing all this.
Look at that.
Look at those gills, man.
Gills, man. Jeez.
I stand up here, you'll see it.
12.98. Calm down, Chris.
Please. Look at that belly. It's getting ready to take a big old crap, too.
Yeah.
Wow. Just look at that. Almost 13 pounds. Oh. Holy cow. Oh, yeah. Almost 13 pounds.
I think there's a delay.
Right.
You see me releasing it next.
Yeah. I mean, just
that's plenty.
What's the thoughts going through your mind in that photo right there, or in that?
Oh, in the previous photo?
Yeah.
Oh, just like, I hope I was thinking how grateful I was. It was a beautiful night. Water was like 84 degrees. I caught it at 7:04 p.m. and Ted Lincoln and we talk a lot. Ted he's an awesome fisherman up here in our area, and he talks a lot about how the evening bite is underrated. People don't think it's as good as the morning bite, and we just think the opposite. And if there's anything to prove it, it's this picture. It's that picture right there.
Sure.
Yeah. So, I was just thinking, even during the release, and I'll release a video on my YouTube page too, but just how grateful I was, and I was trying to take care of the fish the best I could, so I try not to handle it that much.
Right.
I still wanted to get the pictures and want to try to get everything done. I did a little commercial for Victory rods because I caught it with the St. Croix rod.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I was just happy to see. I mean, it was tired. I was tired. I think we both appreciated it, that it was all over in some ways. But and then I called my boys and tried to get them to see it live too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and there's the picture there. Yeah, so officially, the best picture I got, and it's really hard to measure as you're bouncing around over there by yourself, was 12.96.
Mm-hmm.
The lowest I got, probably the best picture I got with it on the scale and so forth is like 12.64. The highest was over 13, and but I didn't get a good picture. It just bounced a few times. So officially, it's not a Hall of Fame fish here in Florida, or in Texas they call them legend fish or something like that.
Because they got to be over what, 13 or 14?
Over 13. They have to be 13 or above.
Gotcha.
Here in Florida to be one of those. And I haven't even turned it into trophy catch yet, which is, puts in a different category. But
sure,
if I'll be so lucky if I see another fish, that big. But I have to tell you, it would not surprise me if I caught one next week, because Orange Lake is just killing it. Bassman Rand, if anybody wants to come down and you want to get in a boat and have your chance, go see Bassman Rand and his lovely wife, Bass Lady Kaylee. You got to check them out. Or obviously, if you want to be on the kayak and you want a real challenge, not just go around, in a boat, then I'll take you out with Kingfisher Kayak Adventures. So
nice.
Or if you're just one of my boys, come on down.
There you go.
Thank you, girl.
Let's
Thank
get
you
the
so
release
much
here. I mean, when you look at it right there where the mouth was out, I mean, I could see why you would mistaken it for like a 2-foot gator. You know what I mean? Just the bill.
Just the head size. There she goes.
Just rolls on out.
You want to see what a Victory rod can do?
This is great.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it was. incredible experience. And, I love to share outdoor stuff like that. And whether it's going to be online or whether it's going to be, in person, love to have people come to North Central Florida and help out.
Right
And
on,
I couldn't,
man.
and I couldn't have done it without New Canoe. When it comes down to it, I started fishing in 2015 in Virginia with the New Canoe, and, you guys have been incredibly supportive, Blake and the whole team, terrific supportive. I mean, Everett was the first person who contacted me and said that might be the biggest fish we've had on the team. And, that makes you feel really good and part of a family like that. So.
Heck yeah. Super cool, man. So obviously you released it. Did you get some girth measurements? Are you going to get a replica made up?
Probably not. I just because I caught so much on video, who knows? I mean, if somebody can figure out how to do it, I'd rather just keep fishing and try to catch some others. I mean, really, I want the
Sure.
Hall of Fame fish now. That's what it's done. It's made me want more.
It's giving you the itch, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was so close. 12.96. That's like just a half an ounce. You think about a half, or a little more than that, like 2/3 of an ounce.
Sure.
So you think about your Titan tungsten 3/4 ounce, weight that you might use to flip with. I missed it by less than that. So,
I mean, you could have been like the walleye guys and stuff.
yeah, that's what somebody said. Just dump a 1 ounce down and you got it. I was like, no, I don't think so.
No, that's good, man. Well, and obviously, rightfully so, right? I mean, still, man, almost 13-pound bass, right? Like,
yeah,
I still call it 13, right? It was over 12. So
yeah,
I would round up, right? And what a feat, man. What an accomplishment. And, it always comes when you least suspect it, right? Going back to you starting the story is, you were like, I'm going to give it one more cast and then I'm going to roll out of here, right? And that's when it always happens.
yeah. I think G mentioned the story last week when he won the national championship. I was there for him winning. I didn't see him catch his last few fish or anything, but I was at the award ceremony. He said there's nothing. There's a lot of things that could have went wrong, and it was just his day. And that was the same thing for me that night. Like, I was using a reel, and I like quantum smoke reels, but I had broken it multiple times, and I literally had put super glue on the handle of it, and it was really loose and so forth. I was like, so there's so many things that could have gone wrong. I mean, the fish could have taken off. I was kind of laissez-faire about the whole thing until I saw it in the boat. I could have, like you said, I could have just snapped off. I could have cut it off if I thought I was an alligator. But, at the end of the day, I got it in that net. And, now I can talk about it. Like, I'll never forget it. I'll never forget. I've done a lot of great things. I've hit a hole-in-one in golf. I've walked the Appalachian Trail. I've had a lot of great adventures in my life, Central and South America, all sorts of things. But this is definitely one of right there at the top. The top. I mean, Obviously getting married is better.
Oh, you're trying to score brownie points.
Yeah, I am.
Brother. I see how it is. Smart man. I'll give that to you. Touche.
Right.
Well, I get it, man. Like, I would say 99% of fishermen will never see a bass that big on the end of their line, right?
Yeah.
Like, unless you're, a guy that lives in Florida, Texas, California, and you're on the water quite a bit, right?
Right.
But I mean, still with those 3 states, that's just a fraction of, North America, so to speak. And I guess, you talk about Mexico, there's some really big bass down there as well. But regardless, it's definitely an achievement for sure that you should be proud of.
Yeah.
Right. Speedworm.
Here's the speed. Pumpkin. This is the exact one. This is the retired speedworm that caught that fish.
You gonna get a photo framed and then put that up there with the photo? I mean, you should, right?
Well, I don't know if you saw if those people are watching, I would love it if you joined, subscribe to my YouTube page, which is Kingfisher Kayak Adventures. But on my Beeline Fishing Instagram page, I did a little, I put it under a glass chalice, and retired it. But Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if I can keep it alive. Eventually it'll shrivel up, but who knows? I'll figure something out.
It'll stick around, man. You could dip it in. I think if you dipped it in some kind of
Like a poly. Yeah.
epoxy or a poly, it wouldn't shrink up on you because the moisture would be trapped in there.
Yeah. We'll give it a try. I mean, if I decide I want to get a replica built, I'll put it right by it or something. That's cool.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Whew, man. Love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Yeah. And again, thanks to my Florida Hooligans kayak fishing team, I probably wouldn't even gone out that day if we wouldn't have had that monthly. There's just so many different, sometimes you forget about that. Like, oh, I caught this fish. I did it with this, but there's so many people that I've had in my life that I'm just so lucky to have that, kind of moved you a little bit here, a little bit there, and put you in the right place at the right time for something great to happen. If there's any lesson out there that can happen, you just got to keep casting. You got to keep doing your thing, even when times are tough. And you just never know in fishing. It can happen at any time.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure. Super cool, man. I dig it. I dig it. I just dropped Buzz's YouTube link into the chat. It's just at Kayak Fisher Kayak Adventures. So go give him a follow, subscribe to his channel, all that good stuff, man. But before we end the show, right? You had another lifetime experience, but I thought it would be a great thing to end the show on is kind of like a safety thing, right? Like
Yep.
what to look for, things like that. But you guys were fishing a tournament, correct?
Yeah, so we were pre-fishing. It was the Florida Hooligans again. We were out at Headwaters in Palm Bay area and prepping for a tournament. We were on the west side, on the west levee at the kayak launch there. We went out for 2 or 3 hours. We knew the storm was going to roll in probably midday to 2 o'clock. So we had already started our way back, and we knew it was going to take about an hour to get back based on the vegetation and our equipment and all that. So,
Sure.
just like in any, it happens anywhere, the storm moved a little bit faster than what we thought. And we were just getting to the shoreline. 2 of us got on the shoreline, and it was a total of 4 of us. 2 of us got on the shoreline, and 2 of us were, I think Derek and John were probably, I don't know, maybe 50 yards from there. And I was actually up on walking to my truck below the levee. And as I was hitting the top of the levee, all these storm clouds were already pulling in and the wind started picking up. But I grew up in central Illinois, not far from where you're at, where you grew up. So I know storms, and these things started rotating around, and then all the palm trees were rotating. It wasn't a straight line. And as I got right to the top of the levee, it actually picked me up, like off my feet, like for like a second or two, not like, threw me like,
Sure.
a
Like you
Kansas.
see in the movies. Yeah.
Yeah. But it definitely picked me up. And as soon as I hit the ground, I just, did the army crawl and tried to get below the levee a little bit. And at that point, then it started storming, winding. There's so much debris in the air that I couldn't see anything. And then the storm, after that big wind, what I didn't know is John, who's was a strongman. He was in a strongman contest. He's a huge guy. Picked him and his full Titan up and just basically dumped in the water. And I couldn't see him. It was raining so hard. And fortunately, Derek and Nathan, my hooligan teammates, were right there. They were able to see him and able to get most of his stuff out. But all of us, every time we go out, we're just hard on each other. If somebody's not wearing their PFD right or that sort of thing, we're always wearing it. And everybody knows if you're in a tournament, you're that way. But we were just fun fishing, and we still did it.
Sure.
Again, just kind of a safety lesson. You just never know. John's the strongest of all of us, and the biggest of all of us, and you can still end up in the water. And there's some giant dinosaur alligators in there too. So Fortunately, if you can fish with somebody, do it.
Yeah.
I think John even said, might change the way he fishes. He might not, he'd be more conservative when he goes out by himself.
Sure.
And probably all of us would too, or we wouldn't test the weather like we weren't even testing it really that much. It just moved in faster than we thought.
Sure. Well, especially down there in Florida, right? Storms pop in and move in and out so
Yeah.
quick all the time. It's crazy. Jeremy Smith in the chat says new bait called the Buzz NATO.
I like it.
We gotta make that happen.
Sure. I love it. Thanks, Jeremy. Jeremy's on our team too. He's a comedy relief as usual.
I like it. I like it. The buddy system definitely helps make the best of the situation. From Derek. Yeah, I mean, it's scary, right? You just never know. And, thank God everybody was all right. And, your buddy was wearing his PFD. I mean, that's the number one thing, right? And especially, like you're describing the lake, a ton of grass in there, which, you fall in, you get tangled up in that stuff, man. It's not the easiest to keep yourself afloat, especially if you get away from your kayak, and
Yep.
things like that, man. So I'm glad all are okay, and it turned out okay, man. But it's one of those things, like I'm the same way. I see a flash of lightning, I'm taking cover, and if I'm far away from a boat ramp, I'm going and hiding under an overpass or the shoreline or something like that. You just never know, man. It's scary stuff in weather. Mother Nature. She's not somebody you want to mess with, right? So
Absolutely. And the way I look at it too, with all my sponsors and so forth, they've never said this to me, but I feel like if they ever caught me without a PFD, that could hurt my relationship with them too.
Sure.
Because I'm out there, helping kids, with the Florida Family Fishing Day at University of Florida and that sort of thing. So they're looking at us as examples, on these teams to do the right thing. And you're by yourself, it's easy to not do it, but it's even more reason you should do it if you're by yourself.
100%, man. 100%.
Brian, you mind if I give a shout out quickly to all my sponsors?
I mean, I'll send you an invoice for it, but I'll allow it this time. Next time, I don't know, Buzz. No, I'm just kidding, man. Absolutely. Go ahead, man. Floor's all yours, buddy.
I appreciate it. Well, New Canoe, been with them from 2015. Just love them to death. St. Croix rods. I've been on. They just got promoted on their elite team now. I don't know what that means. Just a little promotion level. Gill Fishing is been great. Shelta hats. I started with them. They're one of the first people who partnered with me, and love them to death. Titan Tungsten, Cross Kicks footwear, Amped Outdoors, Stream to Sea, and Angle Coolers. And I really love working with them. A lot of them are American-made companies. I just really try to support them as much as possible when we can. And a lot of those have been relationships that I've gotten through people like you, Brian, or other folks like at iCast and that sort. So I look forward to working with more folks too. And check out the Florida Hooligans page. Mondo's Fishing is another one. If you want to get your green pumpkin speedworm, use Hooligan 10 and you will get 10% off of anything you order from mondosfishing.com. Awesome. Greg Gerdax, awesome guy. Anybody who meets him loves him. So thank you, Brian, for having me on and letting me talk about my experiences. They've been great.
Jeremy says he wants a lime green Hooligans new canoe. I mean, I'm pretty sure that could happen.
Yeah, custom colors, right? We can do them. He'll dump the Hobie for it.
Jeremy,
oh, good job, Jeremy.
Jeremy, it's time to open the wallet, bro. We don't like the H word over here. I'm just kidding. But no, man, definitely cool. Awesome to see you doing some cool stuff, man. And congrats again on the fish of a lifetime. I appreciate it very much. You coming on, sharing the story with us, the video, all that good stuff, man. And again, just want to say good luck to you and your team this season, the Hooligans. I know those guys have been in the chat all night. It's always good to see your teammates come and show support and all that good stuff, man. So that's good things. Everybody out there that tuned in tonight, we appreciate you guys tuning in. Like I said at the beginning of the show, we're kind of going with a once a month format, but we're going to have a lot of other content coming out where it's smaller clips and stuff like that. I know some of the new canoe guys are going to be around Florida the week of ICAST, so they're going to be pumping out some content as well. Stay tuned for that right here on these channels, the YouTube channel, Facebook, all that good stuff, the Instagram. I know those guys are going to be doing some cool things. I'm a little jealous, but yeah, ICAST is right around the corner. I know of some cool things coming up, so just keep your eye out all across the board. Appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Hope you guys are well. Enjoy your 4th of July. Stay safe. And as always, boys and girls, tight lines, smooth paddling. See you.